The fall of Rome, the story of money. When people think of Rome's collapse, they usually picture the barbarians, armies breaching the walls, fallen legions, poisoned emperors. But here's the truth. An empire doesn't fall just because of outside attacks. The real collapse starts from within, and what rots it from the inside is almost always money. Rome wasn't destroyed only by wars or corruption. It fell because it couldn't hold on to its money, or rather, because it lost faith in it. And what happened back then still holds lessons for us all today. For centuries, Rome's economy was built on a silver coin called the denarius. It was first minted around 200 BC, and it was nearly pure silver. Soldiers were paid with it, merchants traded with it, and ordinary people saved their wealth in it. In short, the denarius wasn't just a piece of metal, it was trust. As long as people believed in Rome, they believed in that coin. But running an empire isn't cheap. Armies, roads, aqueducts, wars, the costs piled up. Taxes weren't enough anymore. So emperors found a shortcut: debasement. Instead of taxing citizens more, they reduced the silver content of the coin. On the outside, it looked the same, but inside, it was filled with cheaper metals. At first, nobody noticed, but over time, people began to see the difference in the color, the weight, the shine. The denarius was no longer what it used to be. And then what happened? The classic story. Inflation. Prices skyrocketed. A measure of wheat that once cost 1 denarius soon cost dozens. Soldiers demanded higher pay. Merchants refused the coin, and people returned to bartering because no one trusted the money anymore. The worst part? The emperors thought, we'll just mint more money and fix it. But more fake money only destroyed trust even further, and the vicious cycle began. By the 3rd century, everything had fallen apart. Rebellions, plagues, civil wars, chaos everywhere. Emperors changed monthly, most killed in coups or assassinations. Rome was collapsing from the inside. At the heart of it all was something simple. Money had lost its value. Farmers couldn't pay taxes. Trade collapsed. And people refused to accept broken coins. The government panicked and tried to fix prices by law. You must sell this for that much, they ordered. But it didn't work. Because when money itself is worthless, no law can save it. Eventually, Rome introduced a new currency, a pure gold coin called the solidus. It lasted for centuries in the Eastern Byzantine Empire. But for the West, it was already too late. Rome was hollowed out. The armies were gone, trade was dead, trust was lost. Rome didn't fall in a single day. It crumbled slowly, along with its money. So what does this story tell us? That when a nation loses faith in its money, it loses everything. Rome thought it could fool its people, minting the same looking but worthless coins. And today, many countries are doing the same. Only this time, the printing press is digital. They tweak interest rates, print more money, and inflate away their debts. But the ending is always the same. The people pay the price. Money loses value, purchasing power shrinks, and trust disappears. We saw the same story in Germany. After World War I, the government printed money to pay reparations. Then hyperinflation exploded. A loaf of bread went from 1 mark to 200 billion marks. People carried their wages in wheelbarrows. Savings vanished. And that economic desperation paved the way for Hitler's rise. We saw it again in Zimbabwe. In the 2000s, prices doubled every single day. Eventually, people started using US dollars instead, abandoning their own currency. But this isn't just their problem. We're still playing the same game. In 1971, the US dollar left the gold standard. Since then, its value hasn't been backed by gold, only by faith in the government. And ever since, spending has exploded. Debt has soared, money supply has ballooned, and the dollar has quietly lost its strength. The bills in our pockets may look the same, but their purchasing power is only 1/6 of what it was 50 years ago. The result? History always says the same thing. Inflation is not an accident. It's a policy, a silent tax. And for 2,000 years, it's been the one force that destroys empires from within. Real wealth isn't found in paper, but in what's real. Land, skill, production, gold. Things with true value. And never say, it can't happen to us. The Romans said that. The Germans said that. The Zimbabweans said that. They all met the same fate. When trust in money dies, society dies with it. Because at that point, no promise, no law, no state can rebuild faith. When the barbarians were at Rome's gates, the empire had already fallen, inside its treasury. That's why history still speaks. Because if we repeat the same mistakes, we'll share the same end.